It was nice to see these things today. Thank you. And yesterday.
Yeah. All right, so we'll call the JP&L committee meeting to order at 6:04. The first thing on our agenda for this evening is considering Class A intoxicating liquor and malt beverage license for North Shore Healthcare LLC doing business as Thompson's Surview Pharmacy at 1421 East Capitol Drive. So Sarah, you gonna start that?
So right now we do have Kyle Fire, who is the new owner of the Thompson's User. So right now this is basically a transfer of the Class A beer license. Mr. Byer is requesting to add an additional Class A liquor license, similar to what Walgreens would have. So before you, it would just be a transfer of license. It wouldn't deduct really anything other than moving the Class A beer up to a Class A liquor, and then we would still have 3 available for the rest of the village. So I will take any questions, or if you have any questions for Mr. Byer.
I guess I just am curious to know what's the reason for the change?
Sure. When I look at the opportunity, the footprint, and the business, and you look at the history of independent pharmacies kind of even in this area, you have to look outside of just the prescriptions and be more of a service center, multifaceted. So see it as an opportunity to bring a convenient service to the folks that do already shop that store, as well as folks that would be close by and would like easier parking or shorter walk, things like that.
How do we have, we've had gas stations come in, right?
We have, our policy says no to gas stations, but nothing for pharmacies.
Hayek's also, I mean, Hayek's closed, and
Correct.
the assistant there, I think, moved over to Thompson, but they had liquor, it's small, not a lot, but just a couple shelves and for the neighbors, people
Correct.
walking in.
And Walgreens does as well currently, so.
Yeah, I mean, and I think in my mind, I think I would like to be able to support local businesses more, and knowing that Walgreens has the same as what you're asking for, I think that allows you to continue to compete with Walgreens, which is something that I think is important and is different than a gas station. Do you have a plan as to how much alcohol that you're looking to sell?
Sure. It's not going to be, I don't know if you've been in the footprint before, but on the, I'm going to say the east wall is where currently it has a cooler with the beer 6-packs. And as you get closer to the pharmacy, there's just like some Dollar Tree type items. Would re-merchandise some of that section, not the whole section, to do primarily wine, but then have a very similar to Hayek, a very small selection of liquor. I want it merchandised closer to the pharmacy counter, just for shrink and loss prevention purposes. But that's kind of the scope. Yeah.
Is there cameras in your pharmacy?
There are.
Keeping track on the aisles?
Both inside and outside, and centrally monitored, and because that's actually a state requirement to operate a pharmacy.
Okay.
So 24-hour surveillance, both internal and external, with a third-party company.
So are you a new owner?
I will be, correct. I'll be assuming all things go through smoothly. We're closing 3/1. But I've been a pharmacist for 10 years and worked in retail for about 15.
I mean, I agree with since we gave it to Walgreens, we need to be even-handed. I would just say that, like, a pharmacy is kind of a place you go for health, and alcohol is very unhealthy, but, maybe that's something we as a board need to think about, I mean, I guess people are gonna buy alcohol, where do you go? I mean, you go to Walgreens or Metro.
If you're asking me personally.
Where do you frequent, or do you move autos, or for your larger kegs, or?
Right. I mean, I think it's I think it's more of a convenience
Yeah.
thing where you maybe or your kid's sick and you're like, I need a glass of wine to get through the night. Totally kidding.
I mean, I guess it is a drug, it's just, you know, it is a drug,
Right.
you know, it's just whatever, I don't, I mean, the idea of selling alcohol in pharmacies just seems kind of weird to me, but I'm okay with it since we are doing it.
Right. Yeah, I'm fine with it, I support you and keep you open as much as possible, local pharmacy, we're losing so many, well, we've lost almost all of them at this point. It's anything the community can do to help.
So I will move to grant North Shore Healthcare LLC, doing business as Thompson's, you serve the Class A intoxicating liquor and malt beverage license, and then city to move
To the village board, yep.
To
Second.
move to full board.
All those in favor?
Okay.
To move it to full board, is that
To
what
move to
you
full
mean?
board, yep.
Yeah.
It'll go to the full board on February seventh.
Okay, I agree.
Okay.
Right. Well, thank
Motion
you.
carried.
Thank
You're
you.
all set, and then
I should be at the
I will be in touch,
17th.
correct, I'll be in touch with you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you guys, thanks so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, so the next item on our agenda is consider appointment for the Elder Service Advisory Board. So there was a recommendation in the packet, and then I guys saw that you had it.
Is there, because I talked to Elizabeth today, and she said she hadn't recommended anyone, and, well, Paul Stenzel, she said, that's.
Yep,
had
they'd
been
recommended
recommended,
all sense.
But he has not been to a meeting yet, and, I mean, I sort of feel like our process that we go through is still kind of up in the air, and, I mean, the way we used to do it with interviewing people was really time consuming, but I kind of feel doing it by paper is also a very difficult way to do it, and I asked her, so one person put on here that he had attended a meeting, and Elizabeth said, no, none of these people have attended meetings. She said Paul was planning to attend a meeting, but then she said the last person we appointed attended a meeting, and decided that it wasn't the right fit for them and withdrew. So I'm kind of feeling like before we appoint people, we should ask them to attend a meeting. So that's my feeling. Maybe consider this next month after he's attended a meeting. If he still wants to do it. Ask these other people who are interested to go to the meeting.
So
And I would say for future appointments, I don't wanna appoint people who have, you know, if we're not gonna interview people, and I've brought up a number of suggestions for how to do that, and they don't seem to be happening, but, I mean, if we're not gonna interview people, then I think we need to ask them to attend meetings of the committee they want to go to, and maybe let the chair know at the beginning of the year, here's a list of 20 people who have said they're interested in your committee. We were encouraging them to go, and maybe they should instruct them to make themselves known to, like, I'm here, I have my name on it. So maybe people need to attend committee meetings, make them have a little bit of back and forth with the committee, see what the committee's about, and then get some input from the committee chair. So somebody has a face-to-face, and so the people who are applying have a chance to see what it is they're applying for.
And some of these people are applying to 5, 6, 7 committees, it's a lot of committees to attend, I don't.
Well, they'll have to pick the one they really wanna do.
Somewhat to our advantage to have them express their interest, and we review what their skill set is and what's the skill set we're looking for on the committee. I thought Mr. Stencil is an attorney, and also his background working with the disabled adults and Native American organizations and individuals, I think would really add to the Elder Services Board. Their deliberations and looking forward.
I mean, do somewhat agree that I think it's hard for someone to really know, you know, that they wanna be on the Elder Services Advisory Board if they've never actually witnessed or been to, a meeting. But I also do wonder if some people want to be on anything and then apply to, you know, 6 different committees and are sort of thinking that we would look at their background and their application and decide, you know, where their skill set fits the most. So, I mean, I think it could be both, you know. I wonder if we have the opportunity to reach out, like to Paul Stenzel and say, you know, we'd like to appoint you, you know, this is the next meeting, and you know, assuming he attends the next meeting, that he's then on the board. If that makes sense.
Mm.
Like, 'cause I mean, I don't know that, like, us interviewing, you know, if he was here and us interviewing him, that we would, you know, to go through and interview all of these people is really very effective use of all of our time.
I just think it's hard to look at somebody's skills. I mean, because some of these people attach to old application and some of them attach to new application, and even if we had a really good application, I think it's hard on paper to do this matchmaking on paper. So, I agree that us having the FaceTime with people is not something that necessarily we want to do, but I think, and it probably makes more sense for them to have the FaceTime with the actual committee and with the committee chair. So the committee chair can kind of say, yeah, I think this person will work or not work. But I do think we need to have there has to be some, FaceTime before we appoint people. So I mean, you know, if you guys are okay, but I would prefer to have him go to a meeting and wait.
I'm fine appointing him to the meeting with, you know, with the understanding that he is, you know, committing to attending the meetings. But I definitely hear and appreciate that thought. I mean, I do think it is hard, it's very difficult to know, you know, is your personality gonna work well with the rest of the group? You know, there's a lot of variables that obviously you can't tell on a paper application.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I mean, I think, well, we are meeting to discuss the process,
And that
next
is
week.
incorporated. So if I can just
Yeah.
interject 2 things, Chair Bronson and Director Price had actually reached out to Mr. Sensel to recruit him a little bit, to apply for it. So there was that level that they have had communication. Part of the reason he hasn't attended is because they did not have a meeting in January. So this kind of came with, by the time board approval would come, he would have attended that meeting. But I will make note that the individual should attend before it comes to JP&L, for future reference. But those are just 2 little, pieces that are not totally, completely worded out in the memo.
That may not always work. I mean, I think I could see, at least have the staff, like Elizabeth, reach out and maybe the chair and meet them for coffee, meet the people that, you know, for coffee and just check, have a face-to-face or at least conversation with the person. Attending meetings could get, I mean, some of these don't meet every month, and we do want the process to go on. And we may not, I mean, I think you wanna wait till you're kinda like down to 1 or 2 people and have them check them out, then that would be like telling everybody to go to a meeting, you know.
I mean,
Well, I just know from like conservation and HRC, there's people who come to the meetings who aren't on the committee, who are just interested in the topic
Sure.
and come to the meetings, and then raise their hand and volunteer and get involved. And I mean, once someone has gone through that, then I think you're pretty safe saying, yeah, they should be on the committee.
Sure.
So, I mean, in a way, I'd rather encourage that kind of, participation, especially, like, kind of like safety,
Mhm.
conservation, HRC, obviously Board of Appeals and Board of Review.
Mhm.
Police Commission won't do that,
Mhm.
or Plan Commission, but even Plan Commission, I mean, Plan Commission's like very technical and long, and I found it not that fascinating. You know, somebody needs to, I mean, I think you need to know what you're getting into before you sign up to be on the Plan Commission.
So where are we at with this guy? I'd be in favor of moving it forward. I'd move to, move Paul Stencil forward for, appointment.
Second.
Well, so it'll be, when is the Elder Services Advisory Board? When's the next meeting?
This Thursday, at 4.
Oh, so by the time it gets to full board, he'll have had a chance to go.
Correct. So that was part of why I scheduled it to be reviewed by Jake, you know, for, by the time, you know, if he wouldn't have attended, I would say then once it got to full board, we were to put it on the
Gotcha.
agenda.
Okay.
Mhm.
So,
Alright, that sounds.
Okay, I'm okay with
Yeah,
that.
that sounds good. Okay. So all those.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anybody? Alright, motion carries.
So you guys are talking about the process then?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So.
I have a note to include that in, or, you know, look
Yeah, I
at.
just think there needs to be some, I mean, last year, we narrowed it down
Mhm.
and then had the committee chairs
Yeah.
talk to people.
Yeah, I mean, but we did that in like a bigger like a group of appointments.
Yeah.
You know, so I do, you know, we probably do need to kind of come up with a game plan if they're like one-offs a little bit more. I mean, I do think it's, in my opinion, better for, you know, for Elizabeth to say, this is who she would like, because she's gonna be the one